In the previous video, we talked about how death itself is still suffering. In this present life, no one can escape the law of karma. Whether intentional or unintentional, every action brings its own consequences. Now, please listen to this story about karmic retribution in Buddhism. Long ago, there was a monk who wished to spread the Buddha's teachings and create good karmic connections with all beings. He also went on alms rounds to collect donations for restoring a small temple, following his vow. The monk traveled from place to place. One day he arrived at the home of a family well known for helping the poor and supporting monks and spiritual practitioners. When the monk met the husband and wife, they warmly welcomed him. Afterward, the monk took out a bag of gold and said to them, "Please keep this bag of gold for me. I must continue my alms journey. When I have collected enough money to restore the temple, I will return to retrieve it." After saying this, the monk continued on his journey. At that time, the husband often traveled far away for work. So, before leaving, he told his wife, "If the monk returns, please give the gold back to him immediately. There is no need to wait for me." Sometime later, the monk returned. He asked to retrieve the gold he had entrusted to them so he could rebuild the temple. But the wife replied, "I know nothing about any gold. My husband and I never received such a thing from you." She even swore an oath. "If I truly receive that bag of gold, then, whenever I cry, blood shall flow instead of tears." Hearing this, the monk could say nothing more. He quietly turned away and left, carrying deep sorrow in his heart. His health gradually weakened. Not long afterward, the monk passed away. Sometime later, that family gave birth to two handsome sons. The older brother was hardworking and responsible. He helped his father earn money and cared deeply for the family. But the younger brother lived a reckless life. He wasted money on gambling and mints, spending day and night in pleasure and indulgence. No matter how much money the family earned, he secretly stole it to support his wild lifestyle. Seeing this, the older brother became deeply saddened. Over time, his sorrow turned into illness, and eventually, he passed away. After the family lost everything, the younger son also fell seriously ill. Not long afterward, he, too, passed away. At that moment, the mother was overwhelmed with grief. She burst into tears, but as she cried, blood flowed from her eyes instead of tears. Not long after that, she also died now. The husband was left alone in deep sorrow and confusion. He could not understand why such tragedy had fallen upon his family. He thought to himself, "I have always worked honestly. I have always helped the poor, respected the Buddha's teachings, and offered support to monks. So why has my family suffered such terrible misfortune, lost in endless sorrow, and exhausted in both body and mind?" The man eventually fell asleep. In his dream, he found himself walking along a lonely road. There, he saw his eldest son. Overjoyed, the father cried out, "My son, why did you leave me behind? Now there is no one left in our family. Please, come home with me." But the eldest son replied, "The truth is, I was never really your son. Do you still remember the bag of gold that you and your wife buried beneath the tree behind your house? I was the one who stole it. My family was extremely poor. My mother had died, and I had no money to bury her properly. That night, I came to your house to steal, and I saw you and your wife burying the gold beneath the tree. So I took it. I was reborn into your family to repay that debt. Now that the debt has been repaid, I must leave." Hearing these words from the son he loved so deeply, the father stood there, completely shocked. Suddenly, the man saw his younger son. He cried out loudly, "My son, please come back with me. Your older brother has already left me. Don't leave your father alone." But the younger son replied, "I was never truly your son. Do you remember? The monk who once came to your house and entrusted your family with a bag of gold when he returned to reclaim it. Your wife refused to give it back. She even made a terrible oath. I died in sorrow because of that injustice, and I was reborn into your family. I wasted and destroyed everything that your wife and you had taken dishonestly. Now that nothing remains, my debt has ended. So now I must leave." Hearing these words, the father stood frozen in shock. He could no longer tell what was real and what was illusion. Then, suddenly, he saw his wife appear before him. He quickly ran toward her and asked her the truth. As she looked at him, blood began flowing from her eyes. Instead of tears, then she spoke. That day, the monk truly came back to retrieve the gold. But because of my greed, I refused to return it, and I swore that if I had really seen the monk's gold and refused to give it back, then whenever I cried, my tears would become blood. At that moment, the husband suddenly awoke from his dream. And finally, he understood the truth of life. Everything in this world is the repayment of karma. Because he had lived honestly and kindly, he was able to witness and understand the law of cause and effect. From that day on, he left worldly life behind and became a monk, no longer trapped by sorrow and suffering, because he now understood the karma of human beings. If you truly understand this, you may begin to see life in a very different way. In the next video, let us continue listening to the Buddha's teachings together. If this story made you reflect on life, please subscribe to the channel to support the journey of exploring Buddhist wisdom among countless truths and falsehoods within this vast world of humanity.